Hello, students. Today we're going to talk more about logic, so using logical symbols, and then a way of looking at logical statements in kind of a particular systematic kind of way. Okay? So we're going to start off with the idea of logical symbols. So when we talk about logic, remember we talked about logical statements, and then we talked about combining them with and or, and not, and things like that. So if you think about this, the idea of combining two logical statements to get another one is like the idea of addition or multiplication, right? So if you add together two numbers, you get a new number. If you and together two logical statements, you get a new logical statement. Okay? And so what we're going to talk about today is something called Boolean algebra, which is taking the ideas of algebra and using them with logical symbols. And we're not going to go super deep into it, but we're going to talk about some of the fundamentals before we move on. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to write down three symbols to represent and, or, and not, and then we're going to talk about how you can manipulate statements with these. Okay? So we're going to come up with three new mathematical symbols. So just like the plus sign or the times sign, these are going to represent the operations that we're talking about. So for and, we're going to use, basically it looks like an A without the crossbar. So just a triangle without the bottom piece. For or, we're going to use the same symbol but turned upside down. So if you think about it, this is kind of like shrugging your shoulders. So this is or, so it's A or B. I don't care, something like that. That's one way to remember it. And then for not, we're going to use a tilde. So kind of like a wavy dash. Okay? So these are tough to type on your computer. You can type them, but the tilde is pretty easy. It's up under, next to the apostrophe. These two are harder, but they're easy to write. Okay? So the thing to do when you're writing them is just be careful and take your time, because if you go too quickly, you can do the wrong one accidentally. Okay? So we're going to use these to combine logical statements. And in order to do that, to kind of write things down concisely, because that's the whole point, we use this symbol because it's shorter than writing and this symbol because it's shorter than writing or. We're going to do the same thing with our logical statements. So just like we did in algebra, where we represented a variable, a number, by a letter, we're going to do the same thing with logical statements. Okay? So we'll take a logical statement and we'll say, for example, A is equal to it is raining today. Which it is, at least the day that I'm recording these. Okay? So it is raining today. B is, let's say, I will take a walk. Okay? So you can represent any logical statement, right? So it is raining today is a logical statement. It's either true or false. I will take a walk is a logical statement. Let's say I will take a walk today is a logical statement. It's either true or false, right? And so once we've written these as variables, we can write longer logical statements with shorthand using these symbols. So A and B, so A with the symbol for and B would be the statement, it is raining today, and I will take a walk. Right? Which maybe isn't the best statement, right? Because if it's raining, you probably don't want to take a walk. So maybe you might say A and not B, right? It is raining today, and I will not take a walk. Okay? So you can combine these. You can say A and not B, right? So first we apply not to B. So I will not take a walk. And then we do A and that. Okay, and so if you think about this, this is kind of like order of operations. And so the order of operations here is you do not first, and then you do and or. Okay? We can also use parentheses to kind of explain more of the order of operations we want to do. So let me add another statement here. So let's say C is, I will clean my room. Okay? And so we can write more complicated statements by using parentheses. We could say something like A and not B and C. Okay? So this is a logical statement. A and not B and C. So if we wrote this in English, A is, it is raining today. And then not B and C goes together. Okay? So it is raining today and I will not take a walk. And I will clean my room. Okay? So we want to say it is raining today and I will not take a walk, not B, and I will clean my room. And so this gets, you could see if you read this out, it is raining today and I will not take a walk and I will clean my room. This isn't necessarily how we would say this in English, right? So probably in English, if we wanted to write this out, we would say something like, it is raining, so I won't take a walk and I'll clean my room instead. Okay? So a lot of times, if you write this down kind of just using logic words, it doesn't really read much like English. So there's a kind of a trick, and again, we're not going to spend a lot of time digging deep into this, but I want you to practice it a little, of taking something written in logic-y kind of speak and then making it more English without changing the meaning. Okay? And so what I mean by that is if you take something like this, so it is raining, so I won't take a walk and I'll clean my room instead. That's still logically equivalent to A and not B and C, right? It is raining and I won't take a walk and I'll clean my room instead, right? So if you change the meaning, if you did something like, if it is raining, right? Then you're moving into something that's more like a conditional statement. Remember, we talked about those. Or if you said every day it's raining. And then we start to change the meaning, okay? So you have to watch out for that. Similarly, if you said something like, it is raining today, so I won't take a walk or I'll clean my room, right? That's different, right? Because then now you're in the or situation rather than the and. So be careful that you don't stray too far from what it means when you're writing this out in English, okay? The other thing to think about is just kind of how things can combine. If we said something like A and not B or C, okay? So now we've got statement A, it is raining today. It is raining. and now we've got a not outside of the parentheses. So we want to take B or C. So B or C would be I will take a walk today or I will clean my room. And we want to apply not to both of them. Okay, and so this is again, we could write this just out and say, it is raining and I not will take a walk today or clean my room. That's not English, right? So if you've got a not and you're applying it to an or, it becomes kind of a neither nor situation, okay? So B or C, not makes that a nor. So I will not take a walk today. I will neither, let's say, neither take a walk nor clean my room. Okay? And this may, again, this seems awkward, right? We don't say neither and nor that often. But if we want to be logically precise, we need to use those particular words here. Because similar things, if I said, it is raining today, and I won't take a walk, or I won't clean my room, that's a slightly different statement, logically. So it is raining, so A, and I won't take a walk is not B. Or I won't clean my room is not C. So this is A and not B or not C. Okay? If you want to, you can say, so these are kind of together. I won't take a walk or I won't clean my room. You could put them in parentheses. But not B or not C is not the same thing as not B or C. Okay? And so how can you see that? That not B or C is the same thing as is not the same thing as not B or not C. Okay? So let's talk about how we can do that, which is a tool called a truth table. Okay? So we'll do that in the next lecture.